I wanted to show you a video of what a Republican candidate did, and there was like no way to show you what she was doing that would not punish this channel in particular. So you'll have to forgive me if I use code words to try to explain what the hell she was doing. But basically, in a video that was posted on X or Twitter or whatever, there is a Republican named Valentina Gomez. She is running for Congress from the 31st district in Texas, which is a super red district. It's one of those districts where if you win the Republican primary, you are going to Congress. And this woman is running for that primary. She decided to set fire to a holy book of Islam in order to send the message that she would end Islam across the state. And I'm not going to play the video for you for obvious reasons, but I will show you what she tweeted because holy crap, she's nuts. By the way, this post was so bad that Elon Musk's Twitter was like, we got to limit the visibility on this because it's hateful. But look at this. I will end Islam in Texas, so help me God. And then she says horrible things about Muslims, like not extremists, not ones that are committing crimes, just Muslims. Yikes. They're trying to take over Christian nations. They're not, but also why is that all capitalized? That's messed up. Help me get to Congress so you never have to bow down to their stupid rock. Which, listen, this is not the point. I just want to say this. I have very strong opinions when it comes to religion and religious beliefs across the board. But if I were ever to run for political office, you know what I realize that means? That means a lot of my constituents would also be religious and I would represent them. So that means regardless of what I believe about religion, it's no longer a platform for me to trash their faith or criticize their beliefs. That's something I can do now because I'm not running for office. But if you're going to represent people who disagree with you, doesn't mean you have to agree with them. But it means, okay, well, I need to make sure you feel like I am doing a solid job of representing you. Who is this person who's running for Congress who's like, help me get to Congress so I can trash my Muslim constituents because screw them? Unbelievable. But this is what works for Republicans. And you can see from the picture, that would be the Quran on fire. And that's her holding a flamethrower like she's cosplaying, I don't know, Star Wars? I mean, it's just nuts. She took a flamethrower to the book to symbolize how much she really hates Muslims. And by the way, that same video, if you want, here, if you want to see this picture, that's her doing the deed. And then this is how she ends the video. This made me laugh a little bit. Valentina Gomez. I don't know what that eye is supposed to be. Is that a pencil, a makeup pencil? I don't know. I don't get it. Valentina Gomez for Congress, powered by Jesus Christ. Like, I don't know. I don't know a lot about Jesus. I don't remember the flamethrower bit in the Gospels. Is that a bullet? That looks like a very long bullet, but I guess you're right. That is a bullet. Okay, you win. That's frightening. Glad we have Jesus and a bullet in the same end screen. That's wonderful. Wow. Thank you, Dan, for that specificity. I know too much about her now. Yikes. Okay. Anyway, subtlety is not this woman's strong suit. Just to get some obvious stuff out of the way. If you are equating all Muslims to terrorists, that is bigotry. That's just wrong. What the hell is wrong with you? And that would be bad if you're a random troll on Twitter. What the hell is a congressional candidate doing saying that stuff? She suggested America is a Christian nation. She said Christian, all caps. It is not. It hasn't been. It never was. It never will be. There isn't a God. I can say that. And also, if you're using a flamethrower on a single book, that feels like overkill. I don't have a lot of experience, but I feel that there are easier ways to dispose of a book than sticking a flamethrower on it, but I guess it won't get the clicks. And look, I don't particularly care for the fact that she desecrated the Quran on camera. I don't care. I think that's legal, assuming that is her copy of the book that she has for reasons. Um, I obviously don't care about people burning a book. It's symbolic. You can burn a flag. You can burn a book. It's not illegal. It should not be illegal. But the meaning behind it should disturb all of us because she wants her symbolic act of hate to inspire people to do actual physical harm to Muslims, because that's the only reason you do this stuff. Like, I swear, I hope that no mosque is going to be set on fire. But if it happens, I'm sure it won't be hard to connect the dots between the sort of thing she's doing and what she clearly wants people to do in real life. Because we know how she wants them to treat Muslims. I mean, her whole MO is dehumanizing other people. There was another video I wanted to play for you. I'm not going to play it for you. But earlier this year, Muslims in Texas held a rally or an event of sorts outside the Texas Capitol. It was legal. They had a permit to do it. That was fine. She decided to show up cosplaying as a Muslim, like wearing a fake hijab, and had access to the podium. And as soon as she got in front of the microphone, she started spewing all this vile speech against Muslims there. But this is what she does. She's just a hateful person. Now, if you think everything she's doing is just about grabbing attention, yeah, you're absolutely right, because it's not even the first time she's done something like this. It turns out she was running for Secretary of State in Missouri in 2024. And this is from an article about what she did in that campaign. Gomez first made national headlines in February when she set LGBTQ inclusive books on fire with a flamethrower, pledging to ban such books if she were elected Missouri's Secretary of State. In the video, she said, "These books come from a Missouri public library. When I'm in office, they will burn." She's like an actor who only has one character she knows how to play, and all of the characters are batshit crazy. So how did she do in that Missouri Secretary of State race? Well, in the GOP primary, she finished 6th out of 8 people. She was too insane, even for Republicans in Missouri. Like, my God. And that means a whole bunch of Republicans in Missouri saw her and they're like, no way in hell. You are insane, lady. Like, but not all of them. She got some votes. She beat 2 people. How bad do you have to be to lose to her in a Republican primary? What were those guys burning with their flamethrowers? That's not the only thing she did. Let me show you another tweet from her. She shared this video too that I will not play for you. That would be her using a gun on basically a crash test dummy. And she said, "Hey guys, pretend this is a migrant who did a crime." And then she shot the dummy. And this is the president of Colombia chiming in, saying she is not just a fascist American, she's Colombian. And being a migrant, what she wants is to unleash hatred toward migrants. The majority of Americans are killed by Americans. So Valentina Gomez is an immigrant who really hates other immigrants somehow. She is a failed clout-chasing carpetbagger who only has this one move. But being a failure, it doesn't matter what you're running for. Even if you fail to win public office, that still could be your key to success in the conservative world. And I wonder if that's what she's actually doing here. She lost a race in Missouri badly, but she got attention for what she did. Now she moved to Texas. Maybe she thinks Texas is more crazy than Missouri. And now she's doing the same playbook where she does something insane with her flamethrower to rile people up, hoping that she could win the Republican primary there. But if she loses, maybe she thinks, by the time I'm done with this, I'm going to get my spot as a commentator on Fox or Newsmax or whatever it is. Because if you're a Republican, you can only fail upwards. Just ask Riley Gaines, the swimmer who took 5th place once and hasn't shut up about it ever since. So the concern for me, it's not that she's going to win the GOP primary even in Texas, because the person who has that seat right now is a conservative Republican who is an incumbent. He's running for re-election. He's probably going to win the GOP primary again. But it does say something about conservative Christians and their brand, that this lady thinks, if I do this, if I stick a flamethrower to a Quran, maybe I can win over some of these conservative Christian voters. And if she thought that about your group, there is something wrong with your group. Like her Lord and Savior, Donald Trump, has already vowed to prosecute people who burn an American flag, but they have nothing to say. I have yet to hear Republicans chime in to, condemn her for her symbolic destruction of something that's taken seriously by other people. Again, I don't generally have a problem with book burning, but I do want to know what the reason is you're doing it. If it's an act of protest because someone said you're not allowed to do it, okay, let's have that conversation. But if you're doing it because you hate this group of people and you can't physically hurt them because that's a crime now, but you could do it to something they hold dear, now your motives say a lot more about you, and I don't have to support that. It also says a lot about our broken media ecosystem that I think it frustrates me to no end that elected Democrats are called to answer anytime some idiot online or some provocative progressive kid on a college campus said something that is inflammatory. Like, oh, they said it at a protest. Hey, Chuck Schumer, what are your thoughts on this? Because this is your party. You have to answer for it. Every Democrat has to answer for every idiotic thing some other progressive says. But elected Republicans never have to answer for anything their own candidates say or do. How many crazy things has Trump said that elected Republicans never get asked about? Here's a Republican running for Congress, and not a single Republican, I don't think, right now has been asked, hey, what do you think about the crazy lady who set fire to the Quran? Are you supportive of that? What's wrong with your party? They don't get asked anything like this because she's not an extremist as far as Republican candidates go. I think she knows damn well that cruelty is a virtue as long as you say you're doing it in the name of Jesus and as long as you're aiming your flamethrower at the right enemies. She's a grifter. And she knows that if Trump is leading your party, no one cares about decency. They don't care about competence. It's just a race to the bottom to see who can do the nastiest shit in terms of religious bigotry to non-Christian groups. Like, I sometimes hear from people from other countries that are like, what the hell is going on in America right now? And the answer is, I'm sorry. Save me a place. Save me a room so I can move there with you. Like, if our country was in a healthier place, politically, spiritually, people like her would be disavowed by everybody in a position of power. Instead, she has calculated, rightly so, I'm afraid to say, that there is a market for her brand of hate, and there's a pulpit ready to hear it, and a base that is going to view her as a warrior for Christianity instead of some crazy lady who has no actual thoughts worth considering. She made this video because she knew she would get support for putting it up there. And in far too many corners of the Republican and evangelical worlds, she has gotten that support. All right, I'm going to pause there. What other questions we got here? And she still bought the book. Did she, though? I did wonder about that. Where'd she get a copy of this Quran? She didn't say, and I do wonder where she got it from. What would she think if her opponent burned a Bible? Right? Right. If anyone else pulled the same shit, but they did it against Christianity, or, again, I said this earlier, if Gavin Newsom starts talking like Trump, all of a sudden conservatives get mad about it, even though it's a joke. But that's the thing. If Democrats ever acted the way Republicans are, if Democrats ever treated Republicans the way Republicans treat Democrats, Republicans would flip out. Do you see this happens all the time? Anytime Republicans talk about people in New York or Los Angeles or a big blue city like Chicago, they trash it to no end. It's a shitty place. The coastal elites, we can ignore them. That's not real America. But you will never hear a Democrat say, like, what? Wichita, Kansas? Screw those people. Who cares who lives there? You will never hear that. One, because they don't think that, but two, because Democrats are held to a higher standard by everybody. So you can't write off a part of the country, even if they're not for you politically. It's always this double standard. Republicans are held to no standard. Democrats are always held to the highest standard. And I've said this before. I think Dan Savage said this online. Democrats should not only exist to set a good example for Republicans. It is unbelievable that Republicans are not held accountable for the shit they actually do, while Democrats are punished for shit they never do. How much of the Cracker Barrel controversy you heard about this week involved Republicans getting mad over something that Democrats had nothing to do with? And then they just pretended this is a woke thing. Like, no, Cracker Barrel tried to modernize, and then the right got mad, and then the right blamed it on Democrats somehow. It's infuriating. As someone from outside the US, it looks like a mess. Why the bigots got the loudest volume setting? Because, listen, blame Rupert Murdoch, blame Nigel Farage, blame whoever you want, but we have a media ecosystem and an entire political party and a lot of powerful religious groups that reward the worst behavior from the worst people. And that's it. I mean, in other countries, they realized, oh, we should never let that happen. So we should nip it in the bud before it gets worse. And listen, some of the countries like Britain right now, they're in danger of letting the crazy people take over. I'm not saying I like what their politicians are doing right now, but I promise you it can get so much worse.